Welcome back to We Need to Talk. This week's episode is brought to you by, you guessed it, our friends at Manscaped. Big shout out for Manscaped for sponsoring We Need to Talk. They've of course launched in UK and Europe with all of the best below the waist grooming needs. You know the score by now. They've brought out the Lawnmower 3.0. It's been personally recommended by Christopher Hamill this week. He absolutely loves it. So yeah, if you're a fan of Football Daily, you want to support the channel, go over to manscaped.com and use the code FOOTBALLDAILY. That's all one word, Football Daily. You'll get 20% off and free shipping. Definitely worth it. Go and do it. Anyway, this is the show that looks at football on the internet over the past 7 days. 7 days that's seen Soyuncu taking the mickey in Leicester training. Sean Gota pretty much summing up the feelings of every Manchester City fan in the world right now.
Blue moon, you saw me standing alone. 10 points ahead. Okay.
And this bloke somehow not recognising Alphonso Davies on Omegle and then trying to teach him how to do kick-ups. Sake.
Let me show you something. What do you think?
Do you play yourself?
I play.
A little bit. What do you play?
Huh? I play for a small club. Bayern Munich.
Okay. God damn, bro.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, today we need to talk about L'Équipe. Right, we're back with another article reaction video. This time, it's about our good friends at L'Équipe. If you don't know what L'Équipe is, I presume I'm pronouncing that correctly. L'Équipe? I don't know. I'm going with L'Équipe. They're basically an extremely highly regarded French newspaper that is focused entirely on sports. Each year, they produce their 50 best young footballers in the world. Now, this year, unbelievably and quite sickeningly, to be honest with you, they have to have been born after the year 2001. So after January the 1st, 2001. So the likes of Haaland, the likes of Mbappe, the likes of Phil Foden won't be counted in this list. It's proper youngsters, but it's usually fairly respectable. Now, before we get into this, we obviously did a live stream midweek, which some of you guys hopefully tuned into. I'm hoping to do a live stream twice this weekend, once for the Merseyside derby and once for Arsenal versus Man City. If you want to see 2 live streams this weekend, they might be post-game reactions or they might be live watch-alongs, hit the like button. If we get over 3,000 likes, I'll definitely do one for the Merseyside derby and I'll try and do one for the Arsenal City game. Hope that makes sense. Hit the like button. Let's crack on with the reaction. Alright, I've had to load this up on NBC Sports because I tried to get it on L'Équipe and it tried to charge me. And I'm not paying money to log into L'Équipe to do this video. So instead I've loaded it up on NBC Sports and it's 50 names long. I haven't looked at all of the names yet, but 50 names, I'm not going to react to all of them, else we'll be here all day. I'll just try and pick out some highlights. At 50, they've got Rayan Cherki. There must be some unbelievable players if Cherki's down at 50. I'm pretty surprised he's as low as he is. And I'm already seeing some names on this list I absolutely don't recognise. Now, my football knowledge is pretty good, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I reckon I'm not going to know who half these players are. Okay, so yeah, Rayan Cherki's at 50. I mean, he's had 18 Ligue 1 appearances this season. He's been pretty impressive. Obviously had an incredible cameo last season in the Champions League. Lassina Traore is at 48. I feel like that's quite kind. I remember speaking to a few Ajax fans a couple of weeks ago and they weren't particularly positive about him. They definitely wouldn't have had him in the top 50 young players in the world, put it that way. I know he's got 11 goal involvements, I think in 7 ahead of his starts, but let's not forget 8 came against VV Venlo. 8 of the 11. Nevertheless, fine, he's 48. Some of these names I just really don't know about, like Alan Velasco, maybe I should know about him, and Leonardis Sterigu at St. Gallen. I don't know, man. Matthias Aretza at River Plate de Uruguay. Fabio Silva is at 41. Now that feels really kind, because I'm not going to lie, he's been pretty poor, I think, for Wolves this season. Given that Jimenez has been out for an extended period of time, I can't really remember being impressed by Fabio Silva once. Maybe I'm being harsh. He's had a couple of good games, I'm sure. I haven't watched every minute of every Wolves match, but not sure. That feels like a reputation based on his Porto days. Still moving on then. Ander Barantetsa, Barantea, he played against Man United last night, I thought, for Sociedad, and they were absolute pants. Probably one of the worst teams United have faced this season. Wasn't impressed by a single one of their players. United should have won about 8-0. They were horrible, absolutely honking. Moises Caicedo's in there at 36. Brighton will be absolutely delighted with that one. Again, there's other names on it I just don't recognise. Kvicha Kvartashvili, Ruben Kazan. I don't know. Gabriel Veron, I don't even know who that is. I do know who Gabriel Martinelli is, though. And he's at 33. That seems very low. I mean, maybe it's based on the fact he's been very unfit. He's had a lot of injury problems this season. I think he's only played 200 minutes of football. But if Fabio Silva's in there at 41 based on like last season and reputation, I feel like Martinelli, I'm a bit shocked he isn't higher. I don't know whether he should be higher, but I'm a bit shocked he isn't higher. I'm very shocked Rodrygo at Real Madrid is at 32. Now, Rodrygo for me has to be way higher than 32 on this list. Champions League hat-trick. Been pretty impressive for Real Madrid when I've seen him so far this season. Again, I haven't watched every Real Madrid game, but I'm sure Real Madrid fans would agree with me. He's better than 32nd on this list, given some of the names ahead of him. Anatoly Tribune at Shakhtar. Adams Hulzek at Sparta Prague. Kamaldeen Sulemana at Nordsjælland. You know, Rodrygo's a La Liga title winner. He's competed deep in the Champions League. I'm really surprised he's that low. I feel like that's a little bit disrespectful. Surely he's up and around the top 10. Come on. Benoit Badiashile is at 31 for Monaco. Again, he's had a pretty good season. Monaco, I think, are 4th in the table, but they have conceded 37 goals. 37. All right, let's skip forward a little bit then. Jamal Musiala, that's quite high, isn't it? 27 for Bayern Munich. Like, that's a good instance. How can Musiala be higher than Rodrygo? Like, Musiala is slowly starting to break through. Rodrygo, I feel like he's far more established than him right now. Becir Omaragic, I don't know who half these players are. This video is going to be pretty pants because I just don't know any of these players are. I probably should as well. I bet everybody in the comments is going, oh, you don't know who Caio Jorge is at Santos? I'm afraid I don't. I'm not going to lie, I don't. So we're breaching into the top 20 now. Noni Madueke at PSV is at 20. Pato will be happy about that one. Curtis Jones at 17. I feel so harsh. I mean, Curtis Jones this season, he's been very, very important to a Liverpool team that sure have experienced a slump, but are extremely dangerous in nearly every game still. He's played plenty of minutes for his age. He's won a Champions League. He's won a Premier League. To have him at 17 is disrespectful. Like, Gvardiol on loan from, I think, Leipzig, isn't he? Obviously a very talented youngster, but playing at Zagreb. Curtis Jones is playing pretty much week in, week out at the moment for Liverpool in the Premier League in the top 4 race. That's so harsh, in my opinion. Yusufa Moukoko, obviously that's the Dortmund youngster who's like 16. I've watched him a couple of times, plenty of times on YouTube. Does look incredible. So I don't really want to comment too much, but like, no. See, this is where L'Équipe have had a whiffer. How can Harvey Elliott be at 13, above the likes of Ihataren? How can he be above Curtis Jones? Curtis Jones is playing week in, week out for Harvey Elliott's parent club. Harvey Elliott, yes, doing bits in the Championship. Absolutely doing bits. 13 goal involvements I think he's got so far in the Championship this season. But it's the Championship. Curtis Jones is starting in the Premier League for Liverpool. I'm sure Harvey Elliott might be more technically gifted, but right now you can't say he's a better player than Curtis Jones. That's madness. Really madness. Florian Wirtz is 11. If Florian Wirtz is 11 based on this season, who's in the top 10? Okay, I'm going to go really slowly from now on in. 10. Myron Buadu. No. Not better than Florian Wirtz. Absolutely not better than Florian Wirtz. Probably not better than Mohamed Hatteran, to be honest with you. And again, Curtis Jones, I think I would have higher than Boadu at AZ Alkmaar. Okay, 9. Bukayo Saka's at 9. How is he so low? He has been probably behind Phil Foden, maybe arguments for Pedro Neto, the outstanding youngster in the Premier League this season. He's definitely been the best teenager in the Premier League this season. 9 is ridiculous. I cannot believe that. I think he got his 10th goal involvement last night in the Europa League of the season. 8, Mason Greenwood. Not sure on that one. I think Bukayo Saka should definitely be higher than Mason Greenwood. I think Florian Wirtz has probably had a better season than Mason Greenwood this season. A bit surprised he's as high as he is. He has started to refine some form. He's all-round play is improving massively, to be fair to him, recently. But not sure I'd have him ahead of Saka. At 7, we've got Yari Vasharen. I'm not sure about this one. I did see a few tweets when this list was produced, and a few Belgium football fans that I follow said that he's not even in like the top 5 best youngsters in Belgium, let alone the top 10 best youngsters on the planet. So I am going to hold my hands up. So I haven't seen him play football an awful lot, but top 7, I'm saying it's optimistic. 6 is Jude Bellingham. Again, I think I'd have Bukayo Saka higher than Jude Bellingham. Now, I know he's still only 17. I think he's played 17 odd games in the Bundesliga this season. I think he became the youngest ever Englishman to start our Champions League knockout game midweek. But I would say Bukayo Saka's had a better season than Jude Bellingham so far this year. Dortmund have also experienced something of a slump. Obviously not as massive as Arsenal's, but Bukayo Saka has been Arsenal's best player. I don't think Bellingham has been close to Dortmund's. Maybe that's because Dortmund have got a lot better players, to be fair to him. But I think I would have Saka ahead of Bellingham. 5, Gio Reyna. Gio Reyna at 5, I'm not overly happy about. I think I would again have Bukayo Saka higher than Gio Reyna. Oh, I'm going to get slaughtered for saying that. But I think Bukayo Saka's talent level is just ridiculous. Gio Reyna, yeah, he's very, very unique prospect. And he would be in my top 10, don't get me wrong. But I'd drop him a couple more places, I think, to make room for Bukayo Saka. At 4, we've got Pedri's 4. Pedri's so low. So low. Pedri is a ridiculous talent level. At 18, I think he's got 14 La Liga starts for Barcelona in the heart of midfield. And every time I watch him, he's like the best player, or one of the best players on the pitch. He's an outstanding footballer. I'm presuming like Ansu Fati is going to be ahead of him in this list, but Pedri at 4 feels low. Gravenberch is at 3. I think I'd probably have those two flipped around. Obviously, Gravenberch in that outrageous talent and has been Ajax's, or one of Ajax's best players this season. It's a shame that Anthony won't qualify for this list because he's a little bit too old, but he's right up there as well. I think Gravenberch would certainly break my top 5. I probably wouldn't have him ahead of Pedri, though, just because I think the Eredivisie standard is pretty poor at the moment. Like, I'm not 100% sure I'd have Boadu ahead of a Hatteran, for instance. I wouldn't have Vasharen ahead of a Hatteran either, and I wouldn't have any of them ahead of Florian Wirtz. So I think Eredivisie standard brings it down a little bit for me. Camavinga is at 2 at Rennes. Yeah, I guess he has to be in the top 5, doesn't he? He's going to get his big move this summer, almost definitely. I imagine it's probably going to be to Real Madrid. Maybe PSG, you never know, but I think this will be his last year in Rennes. The Champions League campaign, I think, was a bit of a learning curve for him. You know, he was getting spun about by like the likes of Mason Mount, so I think he'll step up big time in the summer and join one of sort of Europe's elite 3 or 4 clubs. And yeah, Ansu Fati is at 1. Unsurprisingly, even though he has been out injured for pretty much the entire season, he is probably the outstanding under sort of 20-year-old on the planet, isn't he? I'm not sure I agree with the order at all, though. Like, I'd have Wirtz much higher. I'd have Bukayo Saka way higher. I think if I was doing my top 5, I'd probably go Fati, Pedri. So I'm going 2 Barcelona boys, 1 and 2. Then I would go some combination of Saka, Gravenberch, and Camavinga. I'm not sure which order those three would be in. Then I'm looking at maybe Jude Bellingham, Gio Reyna, Florian Wirtz, Mason Greenwood, Curtis Jones, who should be way high, Rodrygo, who should be way higher. That's my sort of around about my top 10. I'd probably have a Hatter in higher as well than 14th. But yeah, I'm not too sure whether that was a very good video because I didn't know half of the players. But nevertheless, I'm just being honest with you guys. Some of these names are new to me. Nevertheless, L'Equipe, I'm not overly convinced with your list, lads. Some of it's quite good, some of it's terrible. Why don't you let me know your top 5 players born after the year 2001 in the comments below right now. As I said at the beginning, get this video to 3,500 likes. Did I say 3.5 or 3,000? Whatever. Get over 3,000 likes. And we will do a live stream for this weekend's big games. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today's episode of We Need to Talk. As I said at the start, thanks very much to Manscaped for sponsoring. You can get 20% off all Manscaped products using the code FootballDaily. That's FootballDaily, one word, and free shipping on manscaped.com. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Bye. Bye.